Hi everybody, this is Matt with Crowwing Photography. So recently I just released a video comparing the times in post-production between a DSLR or mirrorless using a fisheye lens for making 360s and the Theta Z1. And in that the results were that it's actually about a minute faster with the DSLR than it is with the Theta Z1. So in this video I want to just simply go over real quick over the equipment. And show you that it's actually cheaper to use a DSLR than it is to use a Theta Z1. So I'll get started. To start, this is a Canon Rebel T7. Not the T7i, but the T7. The Canon camera itself, the T7, goes for $399 with the kit lens, which is like an 18 to 55 millimeter lens. $400 brand new with a warranty from Canon, from BH Video or BH Photo, Best Buy, wherever you're gonna get it from. It's $400. It's a fantastic deal. It's a really good actually starter camera, and it does great for doing 360 photos. The lens is an Altura. That's what I'm using here. Altura 8mm fisheye. It's a Altura f3.0. That's the f-stop on it. 8mm fisheye. It has a removable hood. Some fisheyes don't. Some of them you have to shave. If I can figure this out here. So it does a great job. It does very good photos. I would probably recommend going with the Rokinon or the Samyang at that time, because at the time that I bought this, I had a job coming up and I needed it quick. And the Rokinon 8mm was not going to get to me in time, so I went with the Altura. The Altura is really not in any of the lens databases, so when you're using like PT GUI or Panorama Studio or whatnot, it's not going to find it in there, so you have to kind of do it manually the first few times, and then you can save that preset. So I would suggest going with the Rokinon. I mean, if you want to go with the Altura, by all means go for the Altura. It's still a good lens. That's $199. I think the Rokinon or the Altura for the Canon EF mount is actually a little bit cheaper, I believe. My pano head, again, I was doing this because I needed the stuff quick, and these are the only options that were available. Sunway Photo. It's a pano head. It's actually very, very, very good construction to it. It's very sturdy. It's very strong. It works fantastic. It goes on the base here. It turns at 30 degrees increments only. You can't adjust that like you can on some of the Nato Ninjas, on the Neewer pano head. But this was $85. $85. It's a very good quality. Kind of basic though, but a very good quality pano head. My tripod is just a basic aluminum tripod with a ball mount on it. It's a what is it? It is a Sunpack Platinum Plus. I think it's an Ultra 6000 PG or something like that. I paid $60 for it at Best Buy, and it serves me well. It does a great job. It's sturdy. It's strong. It's pretty well constructed. So now let's get into, since I went over the hardware, let's get into the software. The software I use for HDR merging is called Photomatix. It's $100. It does a very, very good job. It does batch merging of all your photos. It has presets already built in just specifically for real estate, which is kind of nice because you can tweak from there. Any adjustments that you can do manually, you can save as a preset and use it for all the rest of your photos. And that's $100. Stitching, I don't use PT GUI. I use Panorama Studio Pro. Panorama Studio Pro does a fantastic job. It doesn't batch process like PT GUI, but to be honest with you, for me, I like to edit I like to stitch each panorama individually as I go, because I want to make sure everything's right. I don't want any errors. If there's any errors, I want to be able to correct it real quick and whatnot. And it was only $80, not $250 or $300, whatever the price is of PT GUI. So with that setup, with the Canon T7, with the pano head, with the tripod, the lens, you're looking at $922 plus tax. Now you can save a little bit of money finding some used and whatnot, and whatnot, and you can save a little bit less. So $922 plus tax. So now I'm going to compare that to the Z1. The base price of a Z1, anywhere you're going to find it, is $1,000. That's how much you're going to spend. $999. These things are really in demand. People are buying them like crazy. And if you can't get it online from a reseller or retailer, if you go on like buying it used, a lot of times the guys are selling them for like $200-300 more than what you can buy it in the store. But that's because of availability. So right off the bat, $1,000. Now there's no real attachments for this or anything like that, but there is an app or a plugin that goes in here. It's free. It's called Dual Fisheye Plugin. I would recommend that for any kind of 360 that you're doing. Always, 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 always use Dual Fisheye Plugin. It just does a way better job, and it actually brings out the full capabilities of this camera versus the built-in HDR processing. The built-in HDR processing, it's noisy, it's blown out, it looks like crap. I'm just gonna throw it out there, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some flame for it, of course, but it looks like crap. Why would you? You spend $1,000 and you're only using the camera at half its potential. Why? That's a waste. Go buy something cheaper and do it that way. Use the camera the best you can, always, every time, and that would be using a Dual Fisheye plugin. Now, for a monopod, you have a couple different options. I use the Ricoh TD1. I got a really good deal on it. But I use the Ricoh TD1. It's a $230 tripod or a monopod. But I also will use just a light stand. Light stand, I think I paid $20-30 for this. That's it. It's stable, works great, it's lightweight, it's kind of big and bulky, but it still does a very, very good job. So if you don't want to spend $230 or so on a monopod, just buy a light stand. You can get them right on Amazon for $230, or not $230, for $20-30. So with that, you're looking at like $130 or $1,030 going with the Z1 right off the bat. Now that's not touching on any of the software. So you need either PT GUI to stitch these, if you're using the Dual Fisheye, which again I recommend, or you can use the built-in free plug-in that Theta gives you, or Ricoh gives you. That's a plug-in for Lightroom Classic. So Lightroom Classic, of course, if you're doing any kind of photo editing, you really should have anyway. It's like a subscription for $10 a month. The plug-in to stitch it, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. Just works right in Lightroom Classic. Now, after that's done, I still say what you need to do to really bring out even more of this camera, of the Z1, is to do Topaz Labs Sharpen AI. And it's a night and day difference in quality, from even with using a dual fisheye. So you take the dual fisheye, you process it all out, you remove the tripod, you run it through Lightroom, you make everything nice and bright, you get rid of the color cast, whatever. Then just run it through Sharpen AI. Sharpen AI will make it even better. And if you watch my previous video, you see examples of that, and I go over that. So, yeah, so you could actually get away with running a DSLR with a fisheye lens, cheaper and easier than going with a Theta Z1. Not to mention, the Theta Z1 is only going to limit you to 360 video, which is really crap on this, or 360 photo. That's it. You can extract still images or flat images out of it, but it looks like crap. You're just, it's not good. This guy, you can buy some different lenses or just stick with the kit lens, and you can do so much more with it. You can offer your clients photographs, regular photographs of the house, on top of just doing 360. If you limit to just doing 360, then you're just limiting yourself to one aspect of what you can do. You can do portrait photography, headshots, you can do agent headshots, you can do landscape photography, stock photography. There's no limit to what you can do with a camera, and you can make a lot more money off of that. I mean, you can quadruple your revenue just by having a DSLR and offering services other than just 360. So again, I hope this helps, and enjoy.